You know how people say men don't know anything about their friends? I made a game to put it to the test.
I went through a breakup this year. It was really
Don't
bad.
ask her name.
I had to move out of my apartment. I left New York. Broke my heart. What was her name?
This video was so interesting to watch because, for context, this guy comes to his friends and he says, "Can you name my ex-girlfriend?" And they cannot. They are laughing and they're joking, but they cannot remember this woman's name. And she's not a casual ex. She's not like somebody he went on a few dates with. This is someone who broke his heart. He had to move out of his apartment. He had to move out of New York. So, like, big deal ex. And these men cannot figure out what her name is. Like, they have absolutely no clue. And what that tells me is that they don't go deep within their relationship, right? And there's all this conversation about the male loneliness epidemic, and people talk about social media and, what is the impact? Why is this happening? But I think when you zoom out and you actually look at how men engage in relationships, a lot of men will tell you their best friend is their wife or their girlfriend, that's the person that they can tell their true feelings to, that they go deep with, but they don't go deep with their friends. And when you talk to women, it's the total opposite. Like, our female friendships are like at the core of our lives. They're so incredibly important to us. It brings us so much joy. I've said this before on this app, but it is a priority of mine to see my friends at least once a week because it's so important to me and it brings so much joy to my life and enrichment to my life. And what I find interesting about women that men don't do is men with their very, very best friends don't go super deep. They might not talk about their emotions or their marriage or their kids or anything really important. They might talk about work or golf or sports. But they don't go deep. They don't go into their insecurities or anything like that. Now, women, on the other hand, we will tell our entire birth story to a woman at the park. Like, we will tell it to a stranger, a woman who's a stranger, but we trust her, right? Like, we go deep, like, right away. And I find it's interesting because women will build community as well. And I don't think men do as much in that area, where when our friend has a baby, we will all put together a meal train. When somebody's going through a hard time, we will support them. Like, we put in work to support one another in friendship. And it's not just in what we share with each other, but how we show up for one another. And I feel like because men don't share, they also don't show up, right? They don't show up. I imagine this man during his breakup felt very lonely. He probably felt very lonely because his girlfriend was probably his best friend. And his friends couldn't even be bothered to know what her name was. And I think it's really telling about where we are in society, where men are saying, young Gen Z men are saying, like, the most important indicators of success for them are a wife and children. And so many men rely on their family for this type of connection and support, which I think is important, but you need that outside of your family.